Ex-wife asked for open marriage after 4 years of marriage. Hey, true story. My name is Dexter, and I've been watching your channel for a while now. First, let me just say thank you for what you're doing. I never thought I'd be writing into something like this, but after seeing so many men's stories, I realized mine deserved to be told too. Maybe it'll help someone out there not make the same mistakes I made. This is going to be a long one, so grab a coffee or whatever you drink when you read these stories. I'll start from the very beginning, how I met my ex-wife, and walk you through the highs, the lows, and how everything came crashing down when she asked for an open marriage after 4 years together. I met my ex-wife at a mall of all places. I wasn't even supposed to be there that day. A buddy of mine had asked me to ride along with him to pick up some sneakers. I had nothing better to do, so I tagged along. While he was in the shoe store, I wandered off into the food court. That's when I saw her. She was working at one of those little kiosks selling phone cases. She had this big smile, long brown hair, and she was just so friendly to everyone walking by. I remember thinking she probably had a boyfriend. Girls like that usually did. But when I walked up and asked her about a case for my phone, she gave me her full attention. We ended up talking for 20 minutes. She laughed at my dumb jokes, and when I asked if she wanted to grab coffee sometime, she said yes without hesitation. That surprised me. Most girls back then would either give me the runaround or straight up reject me. That coffee date turned into dinner, then into us hanging out almost every day. I was in my mid-20s, she was 23. Things moved fast. Within a year, we were officially a couple. Early days of the relationship. Those first couple of years felt like a dream. We traveled a little, didn't have much money, but we made road trips work. We went to concerts, went hiking, spent weekends just binging Netflix shows. We had our little arguments here and there, but nothing major. One thing I noticed early on was that she loved attention. She liked being complimented, liked dressing up and taking pictures, posting them on social media. At the time, I brushed it off as normal girl stuff. I figured it wasn't a big deal as long as she wasn't being shady about it. She also came from a family where her mom had been married 3 times and her dad was barely around. Looking back, that should have been a red flag for me. She used to joke that marriage was kind of a joke in her family, but I thought I could be different for her. I thought I'd show her what real commitment looked like, the proposal and wedding. After 3 years of dating, I proposed. I didn't do anything fancy, just took her out to a nice dinner and popped the question. She cried, said yes, and told me it was the happiest day of her life. We had a small wedding, nothing extravagant, just close friends and family. I remember standing there, looking at her in that dress, thinking, this is it. This is my forever. At that moment, I truly believed we had something solid. Married life. The ups. The first year of marriage was honestly pretty good. We both worked decent jobs. We bought a little house, nothing special, but it was ours. We spent weekends doing yard work, hosting game nights with friends, going on small date nights. There were moments where I felt like, wow, I'm really living the dream. I wasn't rich, but I was stable. I had a wife, a home, a life I thought was building towards something bigger. She used to say she wanted kids someday, but she never seemed in a rush. I was okay with that, though deep down I did picture myself as a dad eventually. Married life the downs, but marriage wasn't all sunshine. Around year 2, we hit some financial struggles. I lost my job due to layoffs. She was still working, but her income alone couldn't cover everything. We got behind on bills, and that stress took a toll. We argued about money, about chores, about stupid little things. There were nights where I'd sleep on the couch just to avoid another fight. We eventually bounced back. I found another job. We caught up on debt, but that period left some scars. She started spending more time on her phone, scrolling endlessly, messaging people. She said it was just friends or coworkers, but sometimes I'd catch her smiling at her phone a little too much. I didn't push it too hard because I wanted to believe she wouldn't betray me like that. Downsizing. Fast forward to year 4 of our marriage. We made the decision to sell our home. We were still dealing with debt, and selling gave us a small profit that helped us breathe a little easier. We downsized to a 2-bedroom apartment. It was a big adjustment. No more backyard, no more space to escape when we argued. Everything felt cramped, physically and emotionally. I thought of it as just another bump in the road, but for her, I think it was the beginning of the end. The open marriage conversation. Then came the bombshell. One night, out of nowhere, she sat me down and said she wanted to talk about something important. I thought she was going to say she wanted to start trying for kids. Nope, she said, I've been thinking, maybe we should open our marriage. At first, I laughed. I thought she was joking, but she was dead serious. She started giving me this whole speech about how humans aren't meant to be monogamous, how she felt like she was missing out on experiences, and how an open marriage could strengthen what we already had. I shut it down immediately. I told her no. I said if she wanted to be with other men, she could do it single. I wasn't going to share my wife. She acted like I was being controlling, like I was holding her back. That was the first time I really felt a deep, cold distance between us. The discovery. After that conversation, things got worse. She grew more distant, more secretive. She started working late more often, going out with friends more. My gut told me something was off. One night, she left her phone on the couch while she showered. Normally, I never went through her stuff, but my instincts told me to look. What I found shattered me. There were videos of her with another man, not just one, but several. She'd been cheating for months, long before she ever asked about an open marriage. Those videos weren't just casual hookups either. They were intimate, like she cared about this guy. My hands were shaking as I watched. I felt sick, betrayed, humiliated. Here I was, downsizing our life, trying to get us out of debt, and she was out there recording herself with another man like our marriage meant nothing. Kicking her out. The next day, I confronted her. She didn't even deny it. She just looked at me and said, well, now you know, like it was no big deal. That was it for me. I told her to pack her stuff and get out. The apartment lease was in my name, so she had no choice. Watching her leave with her bags was one of the hardest things I've done, but also one of the most freeing. We finalized the divorce shortly after. No kids, thankfully, so it was pretty straightforward. Reflections. Looking back, there were so many red flags I ignored. Her craving for attention, her jokes about marriage not being serious, her secretive phone habits. I wanted so badly to believe we were different, that we were solid. But the truth is, she was already halfway out the door long before she asked for an open marriage. Asking me was just her way of trying to legitimize what she was already doing. It hurts to admit that I wasted so many years, but I also learned valuable lessons. Now I know to trust my gut, to set boundaries, and not to ignore red flags. Side notes and lessons learned. The mall lesson. Funny enough, I sometimes wonder if me meeting her at that mall was fate or just bad luck. If my buddy hadn't dragged me there, maybe I wouldn't have crossed paths with her. But at the same time, maybe I needed this experience to grow. Financial struggles test a marriage. Money problems revealed who she really was. Instead of standing strong with me, she looked for escape. That showed me a lot about character. Attention-seeking behavior. If someone constantly needs validation from strangers, that's a sign they're not fulfilled inside. No amount of love from me was going to fill that void. Trust your gut. The moment I felt something was off, I should have dug deeper. Instead, I let it slide until it blew up in my face. So, True story, I know this was long, but I wanted to give you the full picture. My ex-wife asked for an open marriage after 4 years, but the reality was she'd already been living that open life behind my back. I'm single now, focusing on myself, rebuilding. Some days I feel bitter, but most days I just feel relieved that I'm no longer tied to someone who didn't respect me. If there's one thing I'd say to other men out there, it's this. Don't ignore the signs. If she's asking for an open marriage, chances are she's already doing what she wants behind your back. Save yourself the heartache and walk away. Thanks for reading my story. Hopefully it resonates with someone out there who's going through something similar. I'm back, brother. I told you how I caught her with videos on her phone, how I kicked her out of the apartment we'd downsized into, and how the whole thing fell apart. Well, I figured I'd give you a follow-up. Sometimes people only hear the downfall part of the story, the betrayal, the chaos, the divorce, and they never hear what comes after. The aftermath is just as important, if not more so, because, let's be honest, getting cheated on sucks. Getting divorced sucks, but surviving it, that changes you. It either breaks you down permanently or it makes you stronger. I can't lie to you, at first it felt like it broke me. I felt like someone had reached inside my chest and ripped my heart out. I didn't know who I was without being her husband. But after months of sitting in that pain, something shifted. These days I feel like a free man. And I don't mean that in a cliche Instagram quote way. I mean I actually feel free. No more walking on eggshells. No more worrying if she's really working late or just out doing God knows what. No more financial stress caused by someone else's careless spending habits. No more drama over who liked her selfie on Instagram. Just me, my space, my peace. And let me tell you, peace is underrated. The first taste of freedom. After the divorce papers were signed, I remember walking out of that courthouse with a weird mix of sadness and relief. It was almost like coming up for air after being underwater too long. For years, I had this constant tension in my chest, like I was trapped in a cage I built with my own hands. And then suddenly, click, the door was open. I went home that day, sat on my couch in silence, and just listened. No one nagging me, no passive-aggressive sighs, no TV shows I didn't want to watch playing in the background. Just silence. And you know what? That silence was beautiful. The first thing I did was start rearranging the apartment. It might sound silly, but when you live with someone who controls the vibe of the home, you forget what your vibe even feels like. I moved the couch, got rid of the throw pillows she insisted on, bought myself a big screen TV, and put up posters I'd wanted since forever. It was like reclaiming my territory. Daily life now. Now that I'm single, my daily life feels lighter. I go to the gym when I want. I cook what I want. Sometimes it's steak and potatoes. Sometimes it's ramen noodles. Nobody's there to judge me or make a comment. If I want to spend Saturday playing video games, I do it. If I want to hit the bar with friends on a Wednesday, I do it. People don't realize how much mental energy goes into compromise when you're in a marriage. Every little thing becomes a negotiation. What to eat, where to go, how to spend money, how to spend time. And God forbid you say no to what she wants. That's an argument waiting to happen. Now, I compromise with no one but myself, and I've learned I'm actually a pretty easy guy to get along with. The mental shift. Here's something I didn't expect. Being cheated on, as painful as it was, flipped a switch in my brain. I used to put women on a pedestal. I thought marriage was the ultimate sign of success. Like once you had a wife, you were officially somebody. Society pushes that idea hard. Go to school, get a job, buy a house, get married, have kids, retire, die. That's the script. But after what happened, I started asking myself why. Why do we do this? Who benefits? Because let me tell you something, brother. It's not the men who benefit. Why I believe marriage is a scam. I know this is going to rub some people the wrong way, but I'm just going to say it plain. Marriage, at least in today's world, is a scam for men. It's a contract that ties you legally and financially to someone who can walk away at any time. And when she does, the system is set up to punish you, not her. Now I got lucky in some sense. We didn't have kids, so I dodged the child support bullet. But I've seen friends go through it. Guys working 60 hours a week just to hand half their paycheck over to an ex who left them. Guys who barely see their kids but are still footing the bill for everything while she lives her best life. Think about it. You can be the most loyal, hardworking husband in the world, and if she decides one day she's not happy, she can take half your stuff, ruin your credit, and walk away with zero accountability. And if she cheats, doesn't matter. In most states, she still walks away with the same rights and benefits as if she hadn't done a thing wrong. Tell me how that's not a scam. The illusion of security. Women sell marriage as security. They tell you it's about love, about building a family, about partnership. But once the papers are signed, the dynamic changes. They know the law is on their side. They know that even if they blow up the marriage, they'll get a payout. It's like handing someone the keys to your house and saying, hey, if you ever decide you don't like me anymore, go ahead and take half my furniture on your way out. Who in their right mind would sign that deal in any other context? But because it's wrapped in romance and tradition, men line up to do it every single day. Side story, my friend Carl. Let me tell you about my buddy Carl. He got married at 25, thought he found the love of his life. Fast forward 7 years, his wife cheats on him with a coworker. He files for divorce, and guess what? She gets the house, the car, and he's stuck paying alimony for the next 5 years. Carl's a good dude. Works his butt off, and now he's basically working for his ex. You think she cares about what that's doing to him? Nope. She's out traveling with the new guy, posting pictures online while Carl's barely keeping his head above water. That's not love. That's robbery, sanctioned by the courts. The myth of monogamy. Another reason I think marriage is a scam is because most people can't even honor it. Look around. Cheating is everywhere. Apps like Tinder, Instagram DMs, work husbands, gym buddies. Temptation is at every corner, and let's be real. Women get more opportunities to cheat than men do. When my ex asked for an open marriage, it was because she was already doing it behind my back. She didn't believe in monogamy. She believed in doing whatever she wanted and keeping me around as a safety net. That's what marriage becomes for a lot of women. Stability with the option to explore, the freedom of walking away. Since leaving that mess, I feel lighter. I don't feel trapped anymore. I don't feel like I'm in a constant audition, trying to prove I'm a good enough husband. I don't feel like I have to sacrifice my happiness for someone who clearly doesn't respect me. I wake up when I want. I spend my money how I want. I pursue hobbies that interest me without someone rolling their eyes or saying it's a waste of time. And the crazy part, I feel more confident. Being alone forced me to look in the mirror and realize I'm enough. I don't need a woman's approval to validate me. My advice to other men. Here's my advice to the guys listening to your channel. Don't rush into marriage. Actually, I'd go a step further and say avoid it altogether. You don't need a marriage certificate to love someone. You don't need the government involved in your relationship. If you really feel like you want to commit, do it without signing your life away on paper. Protect yourself. Keep your assets separate. Don't give someone the legal right to wreck you. And if you're already married, pay attention to the signs. If she's distant, if she's glued to her phone, if she starts talking about needing space or wanting new experiences, she's already halfway out the door. Save yourself the heartbreak and start planning your exit before she drops the hammer. Little things that make me smile. Now that I've got this new perspective, I find joy in the little things. making myself a big breakfast on Sunday morning, hitting the gym and seeing progress, reading books I never had time for before. Even something as small as sitting on the balcony with a beer and watching the sunset feels better now because it's mine, my moment, my peace. When I was married, those moments didn't exist. Everything had to be shared, debated, or criticized. Now life feels simple again. And simple, my friend, is beautiful. Wrapping up. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. Life after divorce has been a roller coaster, but I can finally say I'm glad it happened. I don't feel trapped anymore. I don't feel weighed down by someone else's chaos. I'm free, and I'm never going back into that cage again. Marriage, in my eyes, is a scam designed to benefit everyone except the man. If young guys are listening to this, I hope they think twice before walking down that aisle. Don't learn the hard way like I did. Protect your peace, your money, and your sanity. Thanks for giving me the platform to share this follow-up. Keep doing what you do. It's reaching a lot of men who need to hear it.